Welcome to the sixth lesson about goal condition reinforcement learning. This one is dedicated to hindsight experience replay. So hindsight experience replay is a very famous algorithm presented in this paper, where the general idea is that an agent which does not find a reward may not learn anything if it's a standard reinforcement learning agent. But when you are using goal condition reinforcement learning, what you can do is learn from failures. So consider, for instance, a goal condition reinforcement learning agent whose behavioral goal is GB. In the beginning, this agent will often fail to reach GB, but the failed experiment will have produced an achieved goal GA. And the agent can pretend it was targeting GA, reward itself for that, so learn to better reach GA. And little by little, by reaching GAs that are different from each other, it may finally learn how to reach a desired goal GD. So that's the essence of hindsight experience replay. And here you have a well-known example where when trying to do this, you finally do that, and then you learn to do that again because it's an interesting outcome. There are two possible motivations for using hindsight experience replay. So here might be useful in two different contexts. First, that the case where the agent is targeting a difficult goal, giving rise to a sparse reward reinforcement learning problem. That's this example, well known. If you don't use hindsight experience replay, the agent will perform random search until it finds the goal, which is not efficient at all. And the idea is that hindsight experience replay in this context will provide additional reward signal for reaching intermediate goals that are maybe not the goals that you are targeting in the beginning, but that may allow you to learn to do things towards this goal. The other context is when the agent is targeting many goals. In that case, the agent who learns to reach each goal in isolation is sample inefficient. The idea is that a goal condition reinforcement learning agent will learn to reach unexpected goals through its failures, and it may happen that some of these unexpected goals are other goals of the initial goals of the agent, so it will be more sample efficient to do that. To implement her, you need four components. First, you need a goal condition policy. That's something that we have seen in the first classes. Then you need a mapping for a behavioral goal space to an achieved goal space. We have seen this also. And finally, you need a solver, which will be a reinforcement learning algorithm. It has to use a replay buffer, so it will in general be an off-policy reinforcement learning algorithm, such as DQN, DDPG, TD3, PPO, soft actor critique, etc. And the point is that this replay buffer needs a specific goal labeling mechanism that will be explained on the next slides. So let's have a look at the architecture of the HER algorithm. First, you need a setter that will set some behavioral goal GB. You will have some policy and some critique. You need this critique so as to be off policy. The agent interacts with the environment. The interaction is stored into a replay buffer together with the goals that were set. And here you have the goal relabeling mechanism that changes the goal that was set, so the behavioral goals, into the goal that was achieved, so the achieved goal. And finally, you will compute a new reward for having reached this achieved goal in all the elements of the replay buffer, and you will train your critique with this information that will help you improve your policy so as to reach the goals that you want to achieve. Now, in even more detail, to look more closely, so you have your goal condition policy, you set some behavioral goal, you achieve some goal. If you don't use a relabeling mechanism, the corresponding reward is 0 because you have not reached the goal that you were targeting, but you have stored the trajectory, and once you perform some relabeling, you change the behavioral goal into the achieved goal. This time you get a positive reward. That allows you to learn, and now you know that by setting this goal as behavioral goal, you may reach this achieved goal. So the agent pretended it was targeting the achieved goal. It relabeled the stored trajectory with the achieved goal instead of the behavioral goal. This will propagate value in the state action space through generalization, and the competence of the agent will increase over unseen goals. The side note is that the policy achieved this goal when conditioned on that goal, So it's not obvious that it will also achieve the same goal when conditioned on that goal. Okay, the policy is saying something different. So you don't know what the policy will do when you condition it on the achieved goal. Another point is, what goal should I use to relabel my trajectory? In fact, when the goal space is the state space, my trajectory has gone through a long set of states, and I may use any of these states as a goal for relabeling, because when I did this, I also learned how to reach this point, or how to reach this point, or how to reach this point, etc., etc. In the Insight Experience Replay paper, they propose 4 strategies to select the goal along the trajectory. One is random, that's not even on the trajectory, you just take a goal from any of the previous trajectories. One is episode, you select a goal somewhere inside the trajectory, but it can be even before the state that you use. That's probably not a good strategy. The final strategy consists in always selecting the last goal or the last state of the trajectory. And the future strategy is something intermediate, where when you are in that state, you select as goal any point along the trajectory from where you are to the final goal. It happens that the future strategy performed best in the HER paper, but this is not fully understood yet, so some research is needed on that topic. Finally, in the HER paper, they also present that there is a trade-off between replaying more goals or trying more new actions. Okay, if you relabel a lot of your examples to learn, you may overfit your existing trajectory, whereas from time to time you need to explore to produce new trajectories that will also teach you something different. Now I need to come back to the difference between Insight Experience Replay and automatic curriculum generation. Actually, in Insight Experience Replay and automatic curriculum generation, you expand the agent capabilities by targeting goals. But the point is that in HER, you relabel achieved goals as face behavioral goals, whereas in automatic curriculum generation, you select new behavioral goals. So the first does not produce new trajectory by selecting new behavioral goals, whereas the second does. And one point is that both mechanisms, so HER and automatic curriculum generation, can be combined. That's the point of the CHER paper, that's this one, where they combine curriculum plus HER, but there are also different variants of HER, one which uses dynamic goals in the case where the environment is dynamic, so that's DHER. There is also multi-criteria, HER, etc., etc. And that's it for this lesson. Thank you for listening. And again, a quick look at the references.